Hi, care and prevention, and welcome to the final modules for your course. In these modules, we would like to give special attention to some very sensitive information and material about the most risk that you can have in athletics, and that causing sudden death in sports. And so what we want to do is we want to consider how we can prevent the ones that we can, and then how to respond to those that we can only respond to. And so what I've done is I've taken a list that is endorsed by the National Athletic Trainers Association in a position statement, and I am going to address each one of these things in that final module and also look at them from your text. The first thing on the list is asthma. Now, we cannot prevent asthma from occurring. What we can do is control as many variables as we can and be prepared for it in the event that it does happen. But asthma is a very real and a very serious condition that happens, and it affects a young person's breathing. And so sports and exercise is one of the triggers that happens to be with asthma. And so we're going to prepare ourselves in the event that an asthma attack happens on what to do to respond. The next thing on our list is concussion. I spent a lot of time talking about concussion. You're going to see a lot of questions on the module exam about concussion, but concussion is a very real thing, and it's catching a lot of attention from the public and from the media, and we're going to see a lot more coming about concussion. And so I hope that you understand that all of the videos that I've produced for concussion and then also put in there for concussion, that you watch those and that you take those to heart, and that you try to minimize the risk of concussion, and that you take it serious when it does happen. And if you work in athletics, you're going to see concussion. So that's just something that we know. The next thing on our list is cervical spine injury. And what we're talking about here is a person possibly breaking their neck or dislocating a vertebrae in their neck and causing permanent injury in their cervical spine, resulting in quadriplegia. And what I look at here is from concussion to cervical spine injury, these happen mostly in head-down tackling or head-down contact in football. And so I'm going to pick on that just a little bit too as we go through these different injuries. The next one on our list is diabetes. It's very rare, but we do see athletes with diabetes, and they function very well as long as they're able to control their diabetes. And so you may see an athlete on the field who has their insulin pump kind of at the waistband of their pants or their shorts, and you might think, what is this electronic device? Well, that's actually an insulin pump, and it's monitoring and it's taking care of their diabetes for them. And so as long as they manage it very well, you usually don't even hear anything about it. But it's when something goes wrong nutritionally, then we find out about it, and you need to be prepared to respond to that one as well. The next couple on our list have to do with heat, and the unique thing is we still see heat stroke occurring. I don't think it's as common as a lot of people want to make it, but heat stroke, exertional heat stroke that occurs, typically occurs very rapidly, and we have to catch it on the backside, and it's important that you know how to prevent it, but it's also important that you know how to respond to it. It's a very dangerous, very real occurrence that can happen, especially here in the South. The next one on our list is hyponatremia, and that's kind of an odd word, but if you look, I kind of accentuated the NA, and so literally what that means is low sodium. And so a person doesn't get enough sodium in their diet or replenish enough sodium, and they take in too much water, and so they literally get a fluid imbalance on the high side of fluid, low side of sodium, and it can be fatal to the brain specifically. The next thing on our list is exertional sickling, and this comes from sickle cell anemia, which is a very painful condition, mostly occurring in younger black males, but we do see this sometimes with other cultures as well, but specifically to them, and it's important that you're able to respond to this injury or this illness when it occurs. Next on our list is lightning, and this is going to sound really bad, but I don't know why I still see certain athletes holding on to a metal lightning rod and participating in sports. And while I know that that's probably something that you see at your institution, I've definitely seen it in mine. I've seen athletes participate in baseball, in softball, in football, and the lightning is all around them. And if you've ever met someone who's been struck by lightning, you would probably be the first to say, you know what, let's not do that. The issues that occur after lightning strike are broad, ambiguous, and long-lasting. So we want to minimize that by just preventing a person from being able to be struck by lightning by getting them to safety. And that includes the crowd too. And I'll talk more about that when we hit lightning in its specific video. Next on our list is sudden cardiac arrest. And this comes mostly from a condition called commotio cordis, which is trauma to the chest causing the heart to go into an arrhythmia or an arrest, or it is from a congenital or unknown heart defect that wasn't picked up in the pre-participation physical examination. And so these things do happen. They've happened very close to towns that are close to Carl Albert State College. I've read about them in both the commotio cordis and the sudden cardiac arrest. But you know what we know is that we can prevent these up to a certain extent if we do good pre-participation physical examinations. The next side of that, though, is are you prepared for it? And so maybe you've taken first aid already and you have seen and know how to operate an AED, and we'll kind of throw that one out there at you as well. Anyways, this is the list or inventory of what we're going to do in this module. I hope that you enjoy each thing and that you learn a lot and that you take a lot with you. If you have any questions, make sure you email me. See ya.